The United States has a chronic illness known as debt. And perhaps the worst of any type of debt in the United States is student loan debt. According to the Harvard Business Review, student loan debt is now at $1.6 trillion nationwide. Truly, something must be done about this crisis. However, it is because of three fundamental flaws in the plan proposed by Ms. Elizabeth Warren that I stand resolved. The United States federal government should not cancel up to $50,000 in student loan debt per borrower. Let's take a look at each of these three issues. Issue number one, treating the symptoms. Treating the symptoms. Several years back, my father received a sting on his hand from a wasp. Soon, his hand had swollen to nearly twice its size. Now, this was uncommon. Nothing like this had ever happened with an insect bite or sting for him before. So he went to the hospital to see what the matter was. The hospital gave him an aspirin and charged him $300 to do so. Now, yes, the aspirin worked. It alleviated the pain, but it did nothing to treat the underlying cause of the swelling. It did nothing to test and see if he was allergic to this new type of wasp. All it did was treated the symptoms. Similarly, the plan proposed today is just treating the symptoms of student loan. The root cause of student loan is well known. The root cause of this crisis is how expensive college is becoming year by year. However, the plan proposed by Ms. Elizabeth Warren is doing nothing except giving us a $700 billion aspirin. $700 billion is what it is estimated this plan will cost. It's not doing anything to lower the price of college. It's not going to have any long-lasting effects. All it's doing is saying we're going to treat the symptoms. We're going to treat some of this student loan. It's not a good economically responsible policy, nor is it a long-lasting solution, which brings us to the second issue, that of temporary solution. Temporary solution. According to Kevin Carey, writing for the New York Times, quote, "Those who had already paid off their debt would receive nothing. Those with future loans would receive nothing. Those who had debt on the day the legislation was enacted would be rewarded," end quote. This is not a long-term solution. Will it help those who this year, who today have student loan debt? Absolutely. But what about those who go to college next year, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now? Those who will continue to accrue student loans. Will we do anything for them? No. This plan is a short-term, one-time, one-size-fits-all solution. This is not a good economic policy. The third and final problem is that of a tendency towards waste. A tendency towards waste. According to Mr. Justin Song, writing for Value Penguin, 16 million borrowers, approximately 37%, have student loan balances of $10,000 or less. According to Smart Asset, this works out to about $104 per month in their bill. In 2018, the average telephone bill for people in this same age demographic was $114. What we see from this is that they're not under a substantial economic constraint. Nearly 40% of borrowers have bills that are less than their telephone bill. And it would be economically and fiscally irresponsible for the federal government to spend billions of dollars on these people who don't even need the help, who have already shown that it's not a substantial economic constraint on them. Does this mean that we should do nothing at all to help those with student loan debt? Absolutely not. I believe the government definitely has a role in this. However, I believe the plan proposed by Ms. Warren is negligent and doesn't take into account the long-lasting implications. There are definitely other courses. For example, former presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg has said that we can actually expand certain loan forgiveness programs that are already in place, making it easier for the public to attain. Or we can cancel different programs that the government has in place that drive up the cost of college spending. There is absolutely a place for the government in this crisis of student loan. However, it is for the reasons proposed that it's a short-term solution that I urge you to negate the plan proposed. Thank you.